we introduce a character, we're going to meet them the way that you would meet someone for the first time. You don't meet someone like this, or you don't meet someone across the room. When you meet somebody, you look them in the eye and you shake hands with them, and then you start to form impressions about that person at your first meeting. So that's this thing that we want to do for the viewer. So generally when we meet a character for the first time, I'm going to look for a soundbite where the person is being expressive, where we can see them, look them in the eye, and properly meet them. Now, the rest of the shots, they can be all over the frame, but in that initial meeting shot, we're going to do a handshake shot. Second thing that we try to do is look for meaningful details about that character when we introduce them. And it stops me from writing lines like, "Meet Joe Johnson," which tells me nothing about Joe Johnson. But if I write a line, I'll take a line from a story that I did. The most unlikely bartender in the state of Minnesota is a 76-year-old Pakistani immigrant whose pride bubbles up like the glasses he's filling. That has a lot of what I would call meaningful detail. We know that he's prideful about something. We know that he's an unlikely bartender for some reason. Those are meaningful details, and I think those are things that people can grab onto as viewers. And then finally, the third thing, and this is the most important one, which is why I saved it for last, but we try to establish the focus of the story within the first couple lines of the story. We're working on a focus. So in the case of that story about the Pakistani immigrant in his pride, well, it turns out his pride is in his son, who has started this brewery. So it's not an accident that I talked about his pride bubbling up, because that's where we're going in the story. Father's pride in what his son has accomplished. And that's there to lay a roadmap for the viewer, but it's even more importantly, is there to lay a roadmap for me as the writer, so that I stay on focus, because focused stories are always better than unfocused stories.